pilot forced to make emergency landing after mom hands out bags of candy. Cathy felt a shiver up her spine as she saw the 40-something woman get up from her airline seat and race to the front of the aisle. She was gripping her navy backpack so tightly, Cathy could see her veins bulging out her hands. The woman reaches inside the backpack, and what she gets out leaves passengers lost for words, Cathy included. Little did Cathy know that in a mere few minutes all hell was going to break loose on Flight 23 to Crete, Greece. And nothing would ever be the same again. If anybody needed a week of ultimate relaxation, then Cathy Waterman sure did. You see, Cathy was overworked and stressed. She ran her own business which hardly ever left her with any spare time. So when she treated herself to a week in gorgeous Greece, Cathy thought this trip was just what she needed. But Cathy had no idea what was coming to her when she boarded her flight. Cathy slams her front door shut and rubs her tired eyes. She pulls her suitcase to the end of her driveway and waits for a taxi to take her to the airport. It may have been 3:30 a.m. and still pitch black outside, but Cathy was bursting with excitement. This was going to be a trip she would always remember. And she was right, but she would remember it for all the wrong reasons. Cathy arrived at the airport and swiftly checked in. She was early, which was good news for Cathy as it meant she could browse the stores at the airport. She joined the queue for her flight and stood behind a 40-something woman. Cathy didn't know it at the time, but this woman was about to turn her world upside down. While queuing, Cathy exchanged small talk with the 40-something woman. But this woman was very tight-lipped. She merely nodded and looked straight ahead, while gripping her navy backpack so tightly, Cathy could see the veins bulge out her hands. What was wrong with her? Maybe the 40-something woman was just a nervous flyer? Or perhaps, maybe it was just her first time flying. Cathy thought to herself about the woman. But Cathy was so wrong. Little did Cathy know this woman had a plan up her sleeve, and when she finally executed it, nobody was prepared for the aftermath. While Cathy was stood in the queue, tapping her toes eager to get a move on, suddenly, she saw a young couple join the queue at the back. The couple were clearly drunk and were being incredibly loud. Cathy kept her cool. In just a few hours she'd be topping up her tan on a sunny beach and sipping cocktails. Or so she thought. As Cathy got closer to the plane's entrance, Cathy greeted the flight attendants with her cheery smile. She stepped on board, her eyes flicking between the seat number and the ticket she clutched tightly in her hand. Fellow vacation-goers boarded the flight too, ready for their well-desired vacation. But nobody knew what was going to happen next. While walking through the plane, Cathy could see the drunk couple from earlier, laughing and being loud in the corner. They were pointing at fellow passengers while sipping on their beers. Cathy saw the couple and hoped they wouldn't be a nuisance on the flight. But Cathy had no idea what was coming. Once she found her seat, Cathy got herself comfortable. She looked up and saw the 40-something woman from earlier. She was a few seats down. Cathy didn't know why, but every time she locked eyes with the 40-something woman, a shiver ran up her spine. Once all passengers were on board, the flight took off. Then suddenly, the 40-something woman darted up off her seat and stood up straight, at the end of the aisle. What was she doing? Was she making an announcement? Without a second to waste, the woman reached into her backpack and pulled something out. What she pulled out left everybody on the flight lost for words. The woman pulled out bags of candy and started handing them out to passengers. As soon as Cathy saw the brightly colored bags, she wondered why this woman would be giving candy out. It seemed like a kind gesture from the 40-something woman. But nobody knew her hidden agenda. The woman approached Cathy and dropped a bag of candy into her lap. Cathy looked at the woman, and an eerie smile crept across her face. "Thanks," Cathy said. The woman looked at Cathy and merely whispered, "Thank me later." What did she mean by that? Cathy brushed off the strange woman and her bags of candy, and instead started watching a movie on her flight's built-in TV. But Cathy was soon going to regret it. The woman had gone round to everybody in the aisle and handed them bags of candy. But she still had two more passengers to give candy to, the drunk couple. Cathy watched the 40-something woman as she approached the couple. Nobody could have expected what this situation would lead to. Cathy saw the woman drop the bag of candy into the couple's lap, which resulted in the girlfriend yelling out, "What do you think you're doing?" Cathy's eyes looked over across the plane and saw the girlfriend had stood up and was yelling in the 40-something woman's face. "Keep your hands off my boyfriend," the girlfriend yelled. And what she did next left air stewards calling for the pilot. As quick as flash, the girlfriend swung her jeweled-up fist and knocked the 40-something woman backward onto a row of startled passengers. All hell broke loose and the angry girlfriend again tried to punch the woman, but now the girlfriend was holding something. It was a note. A note that the 40-something woman had given the couple, along with the bag of candy. The girlfriend was screaming at the 40-something woman while holding up the note. "Are you joking?" the girlfriend said, referring to the mysterious note. Cathy couldn't see what was written on the note, but when she found out later on, she was lost for words. As expected, the air stewards were both alarmed and worried about the situation that had happened on the flight. As quickly as they could, they called up the pilot to explain the situation. He told them he had to make an emergency landing to kick the violent and drunk girlfriend off the plane. But back in the seating area, things had taken a turn for the worse. Over in the seating area, the 40-something woman and the angry girlfriend's fight was still going on. Many fellow passengers intervened to break them up, but these women were seeing red. It's only when the mysterious note dropped on the floor that Cathy discreetly picked it up and took a peek inside. When she saw what was written, everything made sense. You see, on the note, the 40-something woman had written, "You look cute, hit me up sometime," followed by the woman's number. This woman had clearly written the note for the angry girlfriend's boyfriend. After the two angry women were separated, both were kept at opposite ends of the flight while the flight emergency landed. But what would be the outcome for these two angry women? When they landed, the violent girlfriend was kicked off the plane, along with her boyfriend. The 40-something woman was allowed to stay on the flight, but that was because nobody ever found the note. Cathy had kept it and decided not to show anyone. She didn't want any more drama, she just wanted to be in Greece already. And so, for the second time, Cathy's plane took off, and her vacation officially started. Now,